there's probably some times where I missed basketball training because I was like napping. Do you remember that?
What is up, man? It's your boy Alexander Michaelides, and welcome back to another episode of the Hustlers Hub podcast. Today's gonna be an absolute banger, but before we get into our guest,
yes, sir. Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are listening to this. It's your boy Chris, and yeah, it's gonna be a banger episode today.
this guy's got a bit of energy today, eh?
Mate, it's a bit early, bro.
Good morning, good afternoon, man. To my right, we have a very special guest, man. We haven't been in contact for a little bit. Like, we dropped off a bit. We started playing basketball together, but we have another man in the clothing biz. A bit different to Inks and I. A little bit different, which is great for us to touch on here today. But it's my man Simon Augusta. How you doing today, bro?
Good, bro. It's nice and chilly this morning. It's starting to get into Melbourne winter.
Oh, bro, it's freezing and shit, eh?
Especially in here, bro.
Yeah, in our house, in the hub.
AJ doesn't like to turn on the heater and shit.
Look, bills, hey. Exactly.
He's a hustler.
Exactly right, bro. So, touch on a little bit about yourself. How old are you? Where you're from? Just little things.
Yeah, so I'm 19, turned 20, same as these boys, and I don't know. Yeah, I met AJ maybe 10 years ago now.
Yeah, it's been about a decade. Eh?
I don't know him as Alexander Michaelides. He's AJ, bro.
Absolutely.
He's Coburg's Chris Paul.
Wow.
This guy's gassing me up and shit. Yeah, man, 19-year-old, but
That's it. But yeah, before we get into the app, we always play a bit of game of underrated, overrated. My one's going to be, I saw you into the footy, the punt, overrated, underrated.
The punt, mate. Anyone that played footy with me knows I have no kind of kicking skill, but when I look at the punt, it's fucking crazy. I'm a 1%er. AJ knows I was a 1%er.
Absolutely.
I was like defensive player of the year.
Absolutely.
Kind of kid.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, fucking love a punt. I just can't do it.
You got to respect something you can't do, mate.
Yeah,
that's absolute class. My one for you, Simo, we're not calling Simon. It's been Simo forever. It's been Simo forever ever since we were like 12. 11, 12. New Balances. New Balances. Overrated, underrated. What are we saying?
Fuck. Now everyone's like caught up to how much I liked them 10 years ago.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, mate, he's had this pair for years.
Yeah.
Bro, they're fucking black.
We'll have to get a shot and put it on the
No,
camera.
absolutely,
He's
bro.
been on the way.
I've got him on right now, but I'm not flexible.
Yeah, he's not going to put his foot up and shit.
Nah, man.
What would you say?
Oh, fuck. Now?
Yeah.
Probably still underrated.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think they still got a bit more to go, and then they'll be
You
overrated.
reckon like a couple years?
I don't know, because the 550s came out, and now everyone's on them. They're like the new Air Force.
No, he's right. I see like everyone in the city wearing 550s and shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want them now.
Yeah, because at the start I was like, fuck, I want these, and I was glad I didn't get them because everyone hopped on them.
Absolutely.
And
You got to stay in your own lane. I feel like, you know, you got to have your own little.
I'll keep wearing my Thrash one.
What ones are they?
These are 527.
527.
Wow.
I respect New Balance's numbers and shit. It's a bit different. Like
6'9".
it's just so different shit. No, it's the same thing with Dunks, bro. I feel like the 550s kind of just like the hype from the Dunks, and everyone's got a fucking pair of pandas, don't they?
Has he got them?
Yeah.
But we both have them, bro.
Yeah, but mine were half price, bro.
whatever.
Oh, that's okay then.
Yeah, because of work. So mine were
fresh.
half price. So it's like,
You're working at Nike, bro.
Yeah.
Nike.
crazy.
It's alright. It's like you get some nice stuff, eh? But you spend more than you make. Because it's just,
shit.
bro,
yeah,
you're just
that's how
in.
they get
It
you.
comes home with the ACG hoodie, half price.
That's it. You just justify everything.
Nah.
Oh, half price, bro. I've got like 3 pairs of shoes I haven't worn yet. Oh, half price, bro. Like it's a bit of a dangerous game. But so obviously we touched on it a little bit how we met. So Simmer and I think it was under 14s.
Was it? I was thinking, was it later? Oh,
No, it
was
was-
it earlier? I mean,
Not
well,
12.
I guess we would have been
12s?
12 in under 14s, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So under 14s, who do we play for?
Same with the Saints.
Saint
But before
Fidelis
that,
Saints.
you were a little rascal running around with the Rebels, right?
No, Strathmore Unicorns, mate.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That team was like when we were 12. That team was like the 1980s Pistons.
No,
bro.
absolutely.
That
We were
was
the bad
rough.
boy Pistons. So
Oh,
like,
rough.
absolutely. So Simo played for a fucking super team. Like, I'm talking, I've never seen under 12s this elite in
And
my life.
I was a bench rider on that team, bro. Like, they were crazy, those boys.
Yeah, he knew his role. So Simon would come on, get a few boards, run around and shit. So whenever we played them, our mission was to like injure them. No, like my coach was like,
That's wild.
our
bro.
coach was like, they get in the paint, nothing easy and shit. So imagine like under 12 AJ, just like chubby and shit, like fucking throwing a few elbows and throwing my weight around.
Gritty, man.
No, absolutely. So
Young
we
Chris Paul.
exactly right. So we played against each other for like the first few years, and then Sol, obviously shout out Solly, big Solly.
Love Sol, man.
Yeah, so class guy. So he played for St. Fids, and then me and him got close. We played rep, and I jumped with him, and then we played rep together as well with Ari.
Yeah.
Remember Ari?
Wow, yeah, man. Wow.
We're throwing it back.
Yeah.
We're throwing it back. So it was we played rep together for Coburg under 14s, and we played domestic all the way up to under 20s.
Yeah, it would have been. I think I quit maybe like year 11, year 10. So yeah, it would have been up until like
It was
under
pretty close.
18s, under
Yeah, because
20s.
you stopped playing rep, but you still played domestic. Because there's a photo of the championship, like me, you, Sol, fucking Aiden and shit.
Yeah,
Andy, we took the selfie. So
Elijah.
yeah,
Otis,
Eli,
yeah.
bro. Shout out Eli. Shout out that whole St. Fids team, bro. Hope you boys are doing well and
It's
shit.
fun, man.
It was class.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because I'm not playing footy either now either. And
No sports.
yeah, I'm just like gym and running and like
Running?
But yeah,
Whoa.
you're not a fan of cardio.
No, I reckon
Running.
running's elite, but I'm just not built for it. Like, look at my
Cardio's
build
so
and
ass.
shit.
Oh, I'm not built for it either, but yeah, I
be
try.
done.
Yeah.
Do you get like runners high?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about running.
Yeah, it was wild. I'd love to do the marathon at the end of the year.
Ooh,
same
end
thing.
of year.
That's what I was thinking.
Bro,
Like,
you
I want to do a
start
half
training,
marathon
mate.
first, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't go from prep to fucking
Yeah.
powerlifting to marathon. Yeah, slow down, Chris.
I did a couple like halves by myself, but fucking shit times. So now I've like brought back the distance and
That's
Pace.
mad.
yeah, and brought back the distance and
Increase.
try
Yeah, absolutely.
increase
What do you meant to
pace,
get into
yeah.
running? That's like random.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, what was it? Oh, it's funny and it kind of ties into everything.
All right, perfect.
So this would have been, I guess, 2020, and this is like before COVID and shit.
Yep.
And I just started running. I think it was like footy pre-season, and this is when like COVID rumors starting to happen, and we're all like, "Nah, it's not gonna come over here, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? We're like ages away from
Bro,
everyone."
That's the
Everyone's
same as us.
everyone
bro,
said
in-
that.
in our
Sitting in
preseason as
class
well.
and shit.
Yeah. So anyway, I was starting to get into running for that. I was only a month in. I probably did like 2 running sessions a week around gym training and the footy training at the time. Anyway, then this is like I rock up to training, and I don't know if this ever happened with basketball, but like I was just saying before, like I'm new to the early risers club.
Yep.
I suck at like with my sleep for my whole life.
Yep.
And I don't know if there's probably some times where I missed basketball training because I was like napping. Do you remember that?
Bro, come like nap hair and shit.
Yeah.
Like hair all buff.
Crazy nap hair, man. Because I had the long hair back then.
Yeah, the buff.
Yeah. I shaved my head so I don't have to like hide from the nap hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, it was one of those cases like going from school, fell asleep, and then I was late for training. So I probably didn't stretch properly, and like I get into the drills, and we're doing like one of those ones where it's like with the senior boys, we're doing one of those ones where you come in, the other bloke gets the ball, and you have to like tackle him, and it's kind of like it's almost like those NFL ones where you have to juke someone.
Yeah.
And mate, like one of the senior boys, one of the old boys as well, like fucking broke the fuck out of my ankles, and I snapped my ACL clean.
Oh, you did a little
Yeah,
ACL in training.
Yeah, man, in training. And the funny thing is, the next day, all footy shut down because of COVID.
Damn.
So if, I don't know if training was a day later or
You're not.
or
no
if,
ACL.
if I didn't fall asleep, if I'd stretched.
If you'd warmed up
Damn,
and shit.
But this is where like the good shit happens.
All right,
Because we're in the middle of COVID. Like I'm like at my house, my bedrooms are upstairs, and I couldn't walk upstairs because
Fuck,
it was
true.
my ACL. And
shit.
yeah, so I was stuck downstairs, and downstairs is like my mum, where the spare room was
Yep,
where I was
yep.
sleeping, is like my mum's sewing room.
This is class.
So
crazy.
every day, I'm like in bed, during lockdown, you're just doing nothing. I was just in bed, and the sewing room is like right where that door is. So
Calling your name.
exactly. So I had no choice at that point.
Yeah.
And you started
Yeah, I just
got
started
into it.
Yeah, I guess I was like, I've always wanted to do it, and if you can't do it when there's nothing else to do, what's your excuse? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Banger.
So it's a bit of a bittersweet thing. That's perfect. That leads into our next thing. So like, obviously you touched on sewing and clothes, but people might be a little bit slow at home and not understand. So what is Milkbar? What is it? Talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to
Well,
everyone. Explain it.
Someone asked me the other day. I was like, I don't know what to say, but it's it's my brand,
Yep.
and at the start, really up until like the last drop, I was cutting, sewing, everything.
Yep.
All myself. But this was like the first drop
Yep.
where I was able to get like other sewers to help me out. 'Cause
That's
it's getting too much just to do by myself.
That's the
And,
growth
Yeah,
already,
that's
bro.
lit.
Yeah, the only other thing like to sum up the brand would be just kind of expressing the local culture, the Melbourne culture. Obviously, the name is like representative of like the nostalgia we had, but
Absolutely.
probably even more so like our parents going to the Milkbar again, like whatever they wanted. Like I remember that being a big part of even up until I was like maybe 15.
Oh, massive, bro.
Like,
If you go to
just
the
being
milk
around-
bar and
yeah.
cop something,
Being
what you,
around with
Sales
mates.
straps, mate.
Bro,
Come on.
Bro.
Bit of the bullets.
like you go for like a bike ride, hop off
Yeah.
the milk bar,
Oh,
lads.
cheeky like Gatorade or something. Like,
Yeah. And now
Class.
they're all dying, and
Yeah,
it's kind of
so you're keeping it alive
well,
in a sense.
and it also represents like a lot of the manufacturing in this country's died, and that died like a long time ago.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's not only just like branding thing. It's like the actual business side of it is inspired by that as well. As in, like I want to keep the manufacturing here, and
That's lit.
Absolutely, like such a small like milk bar.
know.
Oh, what's that? And
That's
then you
dope.
dive into it. This is why I love having a potty, bro, because you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
dive into it and
it
you
has a few different meanings.
and you
yeah.
peel back the layers and stuff like that. I love it. What's
That's
your
it.
to touch on milk bar? What's your favorite milk bar snack, Chris?
Ooh, I don't know, Ray. Have you had camel balls?
What?
They're like these little chewies, bro. They're actually mad. They're
That
called
sounds
camel
wild,
balls.
man.
That
Yeah,
sound-
but they're actually insane.
Sounds devious says.
Or I'll just go TNTs, bro. 10
Oh,
cents.
absolutely.
Bro,
Simo?
devious.
Fuck. There's good shit, but I think what we used to just get the most often was like a Powerade or a Gatorade.
Absolutely.
Like we were just fucking spending all day in the sun at the park, having
Yep.
a kid, or like playing ball at the park, and we go down to the milk bar, get like a Gatorade or something.
Quench your thirst. Absolutely.
Quencher. What about you, AJ?
You know the Willy Wonka red like licorice Twizzlers
Oh,
things?
yeah.
You know, like in the homemade Asian packets and shit?
Yeah, shit.
Class. That's what I
I
would say.
wouldn't have taken you for a Twizzlers, man.
Really?
Nah.
No, absolutely. They've just just snack on them. It's actually proper.
Delicious.
So like now we know what Milk Bar is and kind of what it stands for. But why did you start it? Was it because you got into sewing? Like a lot of people can make clothes, doesn't mean they want to have a business.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I always wanted to have a brand. Probably, since I was maybe 12.
Yep.
I probably started to think about how I was dressing when I got into year 7. I'm sure like a lot
Everyone
of people
did.
were like that as well, like getting into high school.
Mm.
And ever since then I wanted to do it, and I was ready to do it before I knew how to sew. So like, and the funny thing is I kind of always do this shit. Like when I started, I was like, I'll just learn how to sew so I have an idea of how it is, and then I'll get someone else to design my stuff. And then I was like, oh, well, now I know how, like, I kept doing it. Like, because it started, it was like 2 hours a night, 3 hours, 4, 5, 6. And then I was like sewing during my Zoom classes. Like,
Yep, that's
you know
what it is.
And then, it goes from like, I'll just get someone else to design. Oh, I actually know how to design now. I'll do it. Oh, actually, I could actually sample the piece before I even take it to the manufacturer, and then they'll do it. Oh, I've just started. I probably won't get that many sales. I'll just make them all myself.
Absolutely.
That's so
And
gangster.
it just went from there. And the first things were like pre-order. So
Yeah.
I
It
wasn't
was smart. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't making any stock that I,
Excess.
wasn't going to get rid of.
Yep, absolutely.
And even at the start, I was screen printing everything. So the fuck thing about that was, I'm a lot quicker now, but at the start, it'd take me like 2 hours to sew a t-shirt, and then I'd fuck up the screen print.
No.
And then it's like, 2 hours gone.
Oh, you got your own screen printer.
Yeah, I don't use it.
does
I
it
don't use
all.
it now because a lot of people do it with their own brands, but it's
Yeah.
actually hard.
It is.
Like,
Mom.
There's so much shit that goes into it.
especially if you've bought like bulk blanks, it's
Yep.
you can just kind of fuck it, I'll throw that one out. But yeah, when I've like
The guy spent 2 hours. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
One T. That's
the
good.
risk
That's
to reward
crazy.
ratio is a
yeah,
bit.
oh yeah, man, I'm like shivering putting the thing on.
Shit.
Yeah,
Mate,
That's
if
crazy.
Inks and I had a fucking screen print, it'd be
Nah,
cooked.
it'd be cooked
It
as,
wouldn't
bro.
be upside down,
Yeah,
backwards
yeah.
and shit.
mine was
Nice.
cooked as well, bro.
So how was your last job? I thought it was the Melbourne's game job.
Yeah, it was good. So to touch on that a bit, even me and AJ growing up on basketball, there was like never a lack of like merch or basketball is like tied into hip hop, and hip hop like runs the culture, basically runs fashion, and eventually I probably started footy when I was about 15.
Bit
And
of a late one, huh?
yeah, late compared to a lot of other people. And I've always been kind of like really prideful of Melbourne, and kind of like my philosophy and everything is just trying to be grateful for stuff. So, my thinking is like, it's not that New York is a better city, and when people live in New York, they're just like so happy every day because they live in New York.
Yeah,
Like, it's not a reality. It's just that we've been told so many times that New York is a cool place or LA is a cool place. And we've seen the imagery, like Sesame Street, you see like the brick Brooklyn houses. And it's like from that age until, you watch The Godfather or like some Scorsese movie, like all of that imagery is being fed to us. And then you're like, our city's not as good as that city.
Yep.
But my whole thing was always like, no, you just have to look for the things that are good. We're not being told what's good in this city.
Absolutely.
So, and I heard you guys speak about it a little bit on the first pod, and you guys think a bit like the same way. But yeah, and the last drop was like basically an example of that. Like, no, like footy is fucking dope.
Absolute.
But it just takes someone to go like, oh yeah, why can't I just make clothes out of that? Why can't it be just as cool as basketball?
Exactly.
There's no it just takes someone to do it. And then, my footy clothes might not even be the ones that take off. Maybe another brand tries out the idea. And I'm not the first one to do it, but I think I was the first one to do it in like a really tasteful collection where it's not just sportswear. Like I made the crew necks and zip ups like so you could wear it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also did like the training singlets, but I feel like even the training singlets were tasteful because I was going for like an 80s like runners singlet kind of look. So and I want to do a lot more of those kind of ideas this year of like, just taking little cultural things from our city and just Australia in general and expressing that through a collection because it just takes consistency of like, all right, this is what's cool about us. Let me show you how cool it is. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, that's like been around me my whole life.
But you never noticed it.
And I never noticed. Another thing, like Ralph Lauren always says that because when he started, when we think of Ralph, we think of America now.
Yep.
But a lot of that shit's actually like very European.
Yeah. Completely.
But he was going to like, I don't know if he was going there, but he was looking at the European shit and like making it American, and then he sold it back to Europe.
Yeah.
And Europe's like, this is great, but everyone's like, well, we actually already had this, but he just like sold it back to you, and it's because they didn't realize the whole time that what they had was great.
Absolutely.
And he does like another example of like a farmer in the middle of nowhere in America will have like a flannel and some like old fucked up jeans. And they won't realize they're sick.
Absolutely.
But then like someone in New York will see him like, oh, that's crazy.
Drip.
There's like stories.
Fashion.
Yeah, there's stories of Ralph Lauren of like him driving in the countryside and some cunt had like an old fucked up red Jeep. And he chased him down and was like, I want to buy it off you.
No way.
That's all it takes, like
crazy.
someone to highlight taste and fashion and
Yeah.
like to notice it. So like, bro, like I'll be honest, hey, before you hopped on here, like I'm actually very grateful you're on this app. This is extremely refreshing for me to to really hear, because I'm like, oh, like he likes footy, kind of footy drop. But now like actually hear it out of your mouth and like the whole like what Milkbar stands for and highlighting Melbourne culture and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, this is a fucking cracker idea.
Yeah.
Like,
that's dope.
this makes a lot of sense, because I looked at the whole collection. I'm not like, never played footy. Mum never let me in shit, because I'm little. But like, I've always respected the guys who do like watch, West Preston play, Chris.
Ooh,
You know how it is. And I'm just
Played
like,
for West Preston?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
I played for
Played for, yeah.
since like under 12, so like year 11
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Sick.
absolutely, it's going to the league, So yeah, bro, just to hear what you're doing, like I feel like you have a really clear vision. Like you really understand where like what you're doing with it and what you want to do with it. And like
That's really
big
dope.
ups to you, because I feel that's the hardest part sometimes,
100%.
most definitely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what was your favorite piece in this collection? Because I think the quarter zips are gangster. They already sold out. Hey, you guys lacked, but
Yeah. It probably is. Yeah, it's tossing up between the quarter zips and the crew neck. The quarter zips are dope just because I haven't done a quarter zip before, and because I made everything on the quarter zip except the zip. I got someone else to do the zip because that's a big part of why this collection took me like 5 months to design, because I was fucking around with this zip trying to sew it, and zips are so hard to sew, man. So by the end, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get someone else to do it because I'm wasting so much time. So I guess, the challenge of that makes that piece cool, but also like, and not many people will notice this, but I just like changed the fit of the crew neck compared to last year. And I'm obsessed with like, and you have to be when you're designing anything. I'm obsessed with like, just the way the end of the sleeve will sit at the cuff and the length of where the sleeve ends, like little shit like that. And
Those
I don't know.
details, bro.
it's
Yeah,
the little things.
not many people wear it, but now when I put on those crew necks, I'm like, fuck,
You'll
like
know.
this fits
You know.
exactly how
Yeah.
I want it to fit.
Yeah.
And so that it's a hard toss up between the core zip and the crew neck.
That's
Absolutely.
dope. But like, how good is like the feeling of drop days and like leading up to it?
It's
all
like
the work.
it's like it's a high. It's fucked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Especially like this one, even just to post the first post about the drop, like, and hear feedback. Like I was driving to the gym and I was like playing Otis on like from Watch the Throne, and I was just like G'ing up. It was crazy, man. Yeah,
it's so dope.
You get a high.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
wild.
Like all those months of like work just
Absolutely.
coming to a single point.
You
And
get
it's
like a bit nervous,
Yeah,
hey?
100%.
Like,
especially like
little bit of
leading up.
anxiety.
Yeah, it's like fuck. Like hope this is working. All
and
this
you
is going on.
Yeah,
and
you
shit.
never really know how the sales are gonna go,
Yeah, exactly.
because
bro.
sometimes people going off, people going
Yeah.
crazy, and it just doesn't convert into sales.
yeah, exactly right. Just because you get interest and motherfuckers say they're going to buy, they ain't buy, bro.
Nah, man.
They ain't buy,
Nah, I
trust
can't
me.
start buying like that.
Straight
It's
up.
not like that, bro. I reckon, all right, so I got a question for like all of us. Are you like, when it drops, are you on the website looking, or you walk away?
Ooh.
What are you?
I've probably had a bit of both. I like to see the first rush of the first few minutes, and then after that it's slow. So like,
Yeah.
if I sat there like
Be like,
for the rest of the night, it'd be pretty
Yeah,
boring.
yeah.
So like, the other night like I sat there for the first 5 minutes, had a rush, and then went to the gym, and then I was like, oh, I'm not going to check it for half an hour, and then you check it, and
Yeah. It's
But
so
yeah,
dope.
it's hard to get off it because you should be like posting in your story while the drops happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Otherwise,
tough.
I just fucking like put it up and just walk away. Maybe I have to sort out some like pre-planned posts, like
Yeah.
just so I can like
Fair.
walk away
And leave it.
not think about
Absolutely.
it.
Inks, what are you?
Bit of same, eh? Like it depends.
Bro,
Like,
you're glued to
No,
it.
that drop I was so glued,
this
bro.
is
This drop
season's
was
drop. This was
last one?
last.
that was like crazy.
That was
the
two
glasses
drops.
was nice. That was calm because everyone was here.
We were
so it was
here.
like-
We had like a little gap.
Yeah, so
Like,
it's
that's
like-
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to do that as well. Like, have
I've
like,
thought
little
about
party
doing that,
drops
yeah.
and shit. It It'd be dope.
That'd be not bro. Like when we did these, we were all on like that was
I was
probably
on
my
a FaceTime with him.
we were all on FaceTime and like
crazy.
the sales guy, you're like, bro, I just got another one, and then like
no, like my phone was like popping off.
Oh, it's so
Absolutely,
much fun.
and
That's
then-
the best feeling.
Yeah, I know.
and then
it
like when
actually is.
they sell out, it's just absolute class.
Yeah.
Hey, see, I'm not like you guys. I don't look. I drop it and I just
That's
like
it.
fucking run away.
That's
I
great.
close my laptop
It's like
and
that
I'm like,
risky text.
yeah,
risky
bro.
text, huh?
Absolutely.
His phone down.
So I'm just kind of like, oh no, and then like I'll pace around the house for a bit, delete my apps, like I delete
Nah,
Instagram
that's
and everything.
crazy, bro.
And but it's just like surreal. Like when you sell out, it's surreal.
Yeah.
So like shout out anyone who's ever bought anything from any of us.
Yeah,
like
straight
Yeah, of course.
It means
dead
a
set,
lot, man.
really appreciate it. Like, and then you have the regulars, and it's like,
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
crazy.
bad, hey. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's like people actually rock with you if they're gonna rock with
Yeah.
you. I feel like if you have something dope,
Yeah.
that's the best part, bro. But I want to say your promo's insane.
Like
Like on Instagram and like just the way you promote and like the photos you take. It's like, bro, you're in your own lane, bro. Like dead set.
I try keep it my own style. You know, it's very DIY look.
It's
It's crispy.
bro, it is. What do you use? Film cam?
Oh yeah, film cameras sometimes, but a lot of the like old model shots are, you know, the new collection. It was the first time I worked with a photographer, Ruby Ryan. She was really good. And that was definitely worth it. Like some of those running shots look amazing. That's the first time I've done like any kind of outside shoot.
Yep.
And we kind of just run and gun it. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to run at Princess Park and I want you to take the photos like this. And
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was talking about, but like I came out of that experience having like way better vocab to direct a photographer.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
yeah, that was one of the things on my list this year, like improve the photography.
Yeah.
So it was 100% worth it. I'll probably continue to use photographers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon they're so like they're
Huge
just having a
investment.
photographer like
Yeah.
compared to like what like you they just have that skill, you know what I mean, and everything comes out a little bit more crispier,
Yeah.
a little bit more like professional.
Yeah.
Like I was like on my story and you were sponsored. Like big ups to your promo, bro. Like I've seen the growth like firsthand, obviously, because like in the beginning, I'm like what's going on? Like what is this? Eh? It's a little bit different, and now like even you having here, it's been like I get it, bro. I
Yeah.
get it absolutely. But I think promo can be hard in general, right?
100%.
It's like, what do you do sometimes?
Yeah.
Like, do you just do a photo? You doing like a giveaway? Like,
Yeah,
it's a bit tricky. What do you think the hardest thing about like promo is for you, Inko?
Bro, just posting, like
Yeah.
having posts, because sometimes I post and it's like too late because we got drops and then it's like, oh, I'm planning a drop date in 2 weeks. So how
Yeah.
many times can I post in
Yeah.
between 2 weeks?
Yeah,
So it's not flooded, but it's like getting enough attention. and stuff, you know?
absolutely. What about
Yeah.
you, Simo?
I don't know. I feel pretty comfortable with how like I run my promo.
Yeah.
The issue was this time like I actually had too much content.
Oh
'Cause
wow.
I like kind of just like fucking off for like 2-3 months. This time was like 5 months.
Yeah, it took a hiatus.
And it's good because it's like I'm gonna like break anyone's balls if I don't have anything to offer. So
There's no rush. So
yeah, so I came back and just within 1 week I just started promoting it, and I had 4 posts, which was probably a little bit too much. You know, by the last post there was like a lot of drop off on engagement.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, but because it was like 3 days in a row posting. It was probably normal for a lot of other people, but
Yeah.
the way I run the account is just like, you know, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna break your balls if I don't have anything to offer. So when it's time, it's time,
You know,
and
you
I
know.
go all out.
yeah.
It's like heaps of stories. Like I'm cracking jokes. I'm talking shit with people in the DMs.
Absolutely.
But then it's like, you know, and then it's done, and then you know, see me in 2 months.
and then you go off, you do other. Nah, I respect that because people flood shit. It's like, okay, like I don't want it now. Like you just try, if you keep throwing it in my face,
yeah.
it has to be subtle. Like I feel like it's
exactly.
hard like with content as well. Like for all of us, like busy and like just to know
Yeah.
what to post. That's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
the hardest part. You know what I mean?
The good thing I've kind of worked out is probably I feel like I have a formula for it. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, like
That's what you need.
especially last year, like I had like all the photos in the book, and I'd like with a Sharpie like take notes and stuff, and they're like that was just my photos, and it's such a simple concept. It's like, all right, what are the photos that inspired the top? All right, I'm gonna cut it out and paste it, and it's like creative and different every time. So and now I got the pin board.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
Yep.
just put shit up on the pin board, little sticky note. you know, and it's all about just sourcing the right photos that are interesting and, you know, old footy photos were sick. I got a bunch of like vintage footy records and I like scanned them all and so I could like put them on the pinboard. So I guess like the best thing I'd say is just building a formula. So you can kind of reinvent it every time and then it's something a little bit different, but something still consistent with your brand.
That's a clip right there.
But it is hard to find what that formula is. But once you have it,
exactly right. It's about testing and staying in your own lane. But another thing I wanted to touch on is like the progression of Milkbar. So like when you started, you said 2020? I looked through the IG and stuff, like obviously in prep, and I'm like, okay, you went from like a video and stuff like about Melbourne, then the film cameras, and you were selling clothes. Yeah. And then man's hopped out with the collection. Like, talk to me about the progression, bro.
So at the start, it was vintage, selling vintage. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people I know in the clothes scene in Melbourne started with vintage.
Absolutely.
You probably know some other people that started in vintage as well. And I was just like, waking up on a Saturday morning, sometimes before basketball or whatever, and you know, going down to Brunswick Savers, like going through every place, just by myself, just going through each thrift shop, and you know, see if some weeks you come back with nothing. Sometimes people go, oh, Paran's good, you got to go Paran, and then you get the 58 tram all the way to Paran, and there's fucking nothing there. And you just come back with nothing. And then some days, like I remember one time I got like, I was at this market and like it was like all shit. And then they're like bringing out new clothes like every whatever. Like people just bring a whole thing and just put it on a rack. And I was looking at a rack and the guy that brought out clothes brought it out and put it right in front of me, and then everyone swarmed me. And but I got like that day I paid like $50 for like 3 North Faces and 2 Patagonia jackets.
Jeez.
That's wild.
Yeah, so like flip that like 70 each or 60 each, whatever. But yeah, I was doing vintage for a while, and then my kind of like big scheme in like year 11, year 10.
It's the age. It's the age you start scheming, boys. Absolutely.
Well, you know what the thing is? Like, I was thinking of schemes by like year 8, but just didn't have the discipline to like put it together. Even with like to bring it back to basketball, like I never really had like discipline with basketball. I didn't understand work ethic at that age. I think AJ was always working his ass off, getting like shots up and shit, but you know, I thought like just going to the park and like playing one-on-one was like
enough.
But like no, that was like just fun. That was for me.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
But I didn't understand that concept, and like it was funny. Like when me and AJ probably started, like I was a center. I was still a center by the end for some reason.
Bro, he never grew.
I'm the same height now as I was when I met AJ. Probably.
Dead set. So everyone thought he was gonna be like a giant and shit. So he was playing the 5-man. But I was playing like the 4 until the end. Absolutely.
Like just using my fat ass to box out. It was crazy.
Freaking Draymond and shit.
Yeah. And anyway, so I never really learned discipline there. I had like, started to get like, because like I probably developed early, I probably started like putting on like that post like teenage weight a lot earlier than everyone else. So I was like really overweight. I was like 90 kilos, which is a lot for my height at like 15, 16. So like I learned my work ethic through, you know, losing that weight.
Absolutely.
And you know, I don't know about everyone else, but I just feel like once you learn the formula how to do one thing, it's just like discipline. Discipline just translate, and that's obviously why you guys are so confident to venture out into like so many different avenues, because you're like, well, if I can work this out, like
you can work absolutely.
It's like I just got to apply myself, and then it's like having the discipline of like, all right, I go to the gym these days. It's not a negotiation.
100%.
Anyway, to bring it back to like the start in year 11, year 10, I was like, my scheme is like, I want to start, because I was good at media. I was always good at media. Always like had a camera like when I was young, or, you know, editing on the computer, like Premiere Pro. So I was like, all right, well, that's my skill. I want to get into fashion. let me make documentaries for people in the scene.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Some
and
Kanye shit.
yeah, and I actually met my good mate Dylan we always went to school together, but we hadn't talked until like year 10 or 11 maybe. And,
Sounds like us things.
and he was like, he's going to be like a great director. And I just met this kid, never spoken to him. And he was like, I've been saving up, for like 5-6 months to buy this like expensive as camera. Hadn't touched like his pay for like 5-6 months.
Shit.
I was like, that's sick. And then I was like, all right, like you might as well get some use out of it. Let's go. So I think it was funny because I was into vintage and he didn't give a fuck about clothes at the start. Now he almost loves clothes just as much as me.
As you, yeah.
But at the start he didn't care. But it just happened his cousin Ash, I was just speaking to last night, like great bloke. He was like, he's like a big part of the Melbourne vintage scene.
Yep.
And he was at, I don't know if you guys remember 91 vintage markets that were like huge and still, I think they're still going on. And he was one of the stall holders. So he was like, come along and film that. And it's like, it was a great way for me to meet everyone.
Okay.
Like, I'm like this little vintage seller on Depop. I'm like, I'm meeting like the
guys,
the
big
beast of the
boys.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like the man in front of the camera, like asking questions, and Dylan recorded it. And that turned out good. And I posted on the Milkbar page, and a lot of people from the market, obviously got brought over onto our page. And then, so that was the first one. And then the other one was, I think it was like a year 11 actual media project, but
Oh, wow.
I didn't give a fuck that it was a media project. I just wanted to do it for myself.
Yeah.
But you guys would know Ishpik.
Yeah.
Ishpik,
Of course.
And I, for like year 11 media, we had to like interview a business or something, a local business. So I was like, oh, perfect. This like my chance to like,
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
still like Nate's the owner. I still haven't told him this, but like the documentary was just like an excuse to be there and learn.
Absolutely.
And I never told him that, like, because I made it out like really.
This is
Yeah,
cool
it's like,
as shit.
and it was. It literally was. So it wasn't like I was being deceiving or anything, but I was just there to fucking learn from the best. And like I
You had an agenda.
he's like an OG in the game. Him and his brother.
That's pretty crazy that you
That's
just like.
wild.
Oh yeah, and and then it's not a coincidence. Like I'm learning from him, and then I'm like I have to be like Melbourne made because they're Melbourne made.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is a big reason why I started as well. They started sewing in their family garage in the western suburbs about 10 years ago, sewing all the hoodies themselves. And so like in the back of my mind, even subconsciously at the start, it's like, oh, that's actually possible.
Yeah.
So like their legacy isn't only their brand, their legacy is all the people that, that's possible. Especially being in the same city as them. They're like,
Yeah. You kind of saw it for yourself. It's like,
and they're also not like the kind of traditional people like that you'd think would be sewers.
Yeah.
They're like, like blokes from the western suburbs, played a lot of sport.
Yeah.
when they saw it. No, bro, like you're saying all this, like, oh, scheming you, like year 8 and shit. Bro, I would have never thought this guy was going to be where he's at now. Like,
Yeah.
I
You never
messaged
knew, bro. That's
no,
why they're scheming.
he kept his cards close to his chest. Like, me and Sol were like, bro, you seen Simo? And we're like, this is insane. So, you know what I mean? So, like, never judge a book by its cover. Hey, keep your schemes close to your chest and pop out with a fucking elite collection and just
Straight
do
out,
it
bro.
again, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like talking too much about
Just
it.
get it done.
Just getting it
Just
done.
show
I'm
it.
You
Yeah,
just get it
exactly the
done.
same, yeah.
Just get it
That's
done.
it.
That's absolute
But
class.
like with owning a small brand, what do you think the hardest part about it is?
I don't know. It obviously is hard. I guess maybe like relying on other people, like when,
Yeah.
like for you guys it would be the manufacturers, but for me it's more so like, I'm like taking the stuff to the dye house, waiting for that. Oh, dye house is actually pretty quick. Maybe like the screen printers and the embroiderers, and not not their fault, but it's like they're busy, and like my order's probably one of the smallest out of their things. So like they're obviously not gonna prioritize me. Just waiting for that, and then like delays with that, delays with like if you're getting a custom fabric made, stuff like that. The worst one was to build off that last summer. I had the summer collection. Just like that. So like I basically, it's probably October, November. I quit my part-time job, tried to put a bit of money aside so I could just like go all in for a few months. I knew it wasn't like my last part-time job because now I got more jobs again. I was just telling AJ before, like, I got the job at the tailor.
Smart man.
So
Crazy.
He's building your life around this, bro. Respect.
I'm gonna be learning a lot of fucking there. Anyway, last summer I quit my job in like October, November, and I'd made like this collection is gonna be like 8 times more stock than I'd ever done. And like I'm gonna make it myself. So I needed that fucking time off work and just spent like 2 months just sewing. Anyway, so like I got all the shorts done, but I'm still waiting for this fabric to be made. They kept delaying it. I want this drop to come out before Christmas. And it's about a week out, and also I need time to make it and take it to the dye place because I make a lot of the stuff all in white. And then like I'll get it dyed. Get it dyed separately. 20 of this, 20 of that, 30, 40, whatever, and then. So I didn't get the fabric back until about a week before Christmas.
Sheesh.
So
it happens.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you guys like will do the same thing. 15-hour day of sewing, 18-hour day, 20-hour day, 20-hour day.
Just got it done, bro.
Just got it done one weekend, and I made like 80 t-shirts in 4 days. And by the end, I was like, those 20-hour days, I'm sleep deprived, like almost hallucinating. Just, I remember getting into bed on the last night and just like tripping out. And just, it was bad.
It's just like, 100%. It's just the fact that you're kind of doing
you love it,
everything.
bro.
But you love it though. That's the thing. You wouldn't change it for the world.
Exactly. That's the way I think about it when I'm doing those long nights. It's like, fuck, this is shit. But like,
it pays off. Bro. Absolutely, bro. Like I'll be trying to go to bed, come out, get some water. He's just in here, bro. So I would pack of Skittles, all like black-eyed and shit. 100%. So you have to love it, bro. What about you, Chris? What do you think the hardest part of being like small business owner?
Like just handling like people that and they're asking for shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like obviously I want to give
That's
it to
one.
you, bro. But like,
bro, if you're not paying
bro.
full price for your boy's stuff, it's not your boy.
Nah, like the thing is, if someone like asks me for a discount, it's like thing. But like I'll offer them. If I offer them, it'll be alright, But then if someone comes to me, it's like, oh, I can't
that's
get
what
it
I'm
for
like
free
as well.
and
Yeah,
shit. Like I don't mind thing, but like
I'll offer.
It's just like to me, it's like, bro, like I'm paying for this. Like, is that like all this is out of my pocket and like my time, and like you come to me like asking for a discount for what? Like, you know what I mean? Hey, just like $50 if you can't afford it. That's okay. You don't have to buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Show support, show love. Like I get where everyone's at. Like you
like
don't
my post, bro. That's it.
like the post, share it.
So many people that just share my stuff, and like that's almost just as valuable sometimes as buying a piece.
Absolutely, because exposure is super important, and being just like trying to grow naturally, it's tough. But I say for me, bro, it's capital. It's money. That's the hardest part. Like at like all our drops, who's paying for it? Us. You know what I mean?
People just think we get something for a certain price and then we sell it. But it's in all the stuff in between, like you like working on them for hours and hours.
Bro, you don't get
the
paid
labels
for your
on.
time.
Yeah, exactly. The little things,
labels, bro.
like doing the website up, doing all the content and shit. Like you don't get paid for that.
Yeah,
and that's what goes into the price. Like that's why it's not
100%.
just, we buy for this much, we sell for that.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's not like that.
You know, like feel like you're wearing my hoodie, I'm wearing yours. Like, they didn't come like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like trial and error. Okay, like we get a sample. It's wrong. Send it back.
It's always
And
wrong.
that's like
It's always wrong, bro.
Exactly.
The sample's always wrong.
Exactly.
And then like you got to pay for that. And then like you said, photographer. I doubt people taking photos for free. Like you have your photographer, I have mine. It's like got to edit, plan your post. Okay, $20, promote for the week.
Yeah.
A lot goes into it,
And that's all right, but it's not that. It's that we're working part-time
That's
jobs.
like-
It's, we have like a social life, which
Yeah.
probably gets minimized as much as they can.
Absolutely.
But still, like you need to spend time with your mates and
Yeah.
put time into relationships and
It's a lot.
yeah, and then I know you do the gym stuff that takes up a lot of
Yeah, it
time, and
does.
like I'm sure you're still keeping fit and stuff.
Yeah, it's boxing
like
stuff.
exactly. So it's not just that; it's that in between everything
That's
else.
what it is, eh? Because bro, like when you're talking to me about having part-time jobs and how you quit your job, me and Chris speak about it every day. Like I wish we could just do this.
Yeah,
full time.
exactly,
Yeah.
bro. It's like one day we're just gonna be able to do
Just
this.
work on,
without, without having to like
work on all seasons, work on
Exactly,
calm,
bro.
work on the potty, and like that's how we make revenue,
exactly, bro.
But like
That'll be
obviously with where we're at, like it's not enough to sustain living.
It's true. Yeah,
It's not, but like I feel like it's really refreshing that for all three of us, it will be one day.
for sure. Yeah, but I'm patient. Like the way I look at
Absolutely.
it is, you don't love those part-time jobs every day, but I actually don't mind them. Like I like the pay. I'm learning at both my part-time jobs, and the way I look, like always trying to be grateful. Just
Absolutely.
Where I want to be in 10 years, just doing the same shit I'm doing now. So it's like,
Yeah.
why would I want to be where I am in 10 years? I just want to be what I'm doing like right now.
Ooh, I like that, bro. I like that. A lot of people they say you ask that question, it's a whole different career path or it's different, but it's like what you want to do is obviously like an elevated level.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like whether you're making 100 hoodies or 100,000, like you're making a hoodie.
Yeah.
So why do you care?
Nah, I like that.
I'm not
mindset,
trying to be
bro.
inspirational, right?
No, but but it makes a lot of sense when you break it down like
Yeah.
that. Like same thing for me when I go and like talk with a school, if it's one kid or 100,000, it's still, it's
Like
still
an
a kid.
impact.
Oh yeah,
That's
and
what
it's
it
almost
is.
more intimate when you have less.
Yeah.
You know
Good
what
point.
I mean? So
Yeah.
you might look back and be like, "Fuck, like that was actually nicer." Like maybe just like half the people.
Yeah, exactly. right.
But like it's cool. That's the thing. You want to progress, and progressing is cool because if you're not progressing, it's a bit boring. Like you need to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I'm designing a collection in 10 years and there's a lot of money behind it or whatever, like at the end of the day, I wake up, I design clothes, and I go to sleep.
Class.
Now or then. Like, so
Class.
there's no reason. That's the thing. There's no excuse not to be like happy now. Like instead of just like looking ahead, like, oh, I'll get there. Like I'll be happy. Like,
Yeah.
and everything else takes care of itself most of the time. I find. Yeah.
100%. I'm with that, bro.
Nice.
That's I like the way you break it down and you think of
Yeah.
it. So like, kind of don't rush it and just
Stay the course.
For sure.
stay the course. Inks. That's what we gotta do. You
That's
got a
it.
collection dropping.
Yeah.
You know what I
Hopefully
mean?
Soon.
Hopefully, hopefully soon. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
got some stuff
It's
on
like
the way.
I know.
It's always like that. But before we sign off, I just want to say, what's your main goal for the end of the year? Do you have one Milkbar goal or one personal one? What is it?
I guess just continue what I'm doing. I had a revenue goal, but
It's
the more I
tough.
get into it, I'm like, I don't really give a fuck like
Exactly.
about the revenue goal.
That will come. That will come.
Yeah, I had the goal of like getting better at the photography side of thing. I've done that with the first drop, and I just want to continue to do that. Yeah, maybe a pop up would be nice if plausible.
Yeah.
I've been asking around, bro. No, like it's rough.
Damn, bro.
yeah.
Like, if you came on 2 weeks ago, I probably could have got you in on one. Because I got invited out to one.
Oh shit. Okay.
And they, like, reached out to me, which
Yeah.
was
Bro,
wild.
I feel like another thing, like with Chris and I, like pop-ups, events and stuff. There's like I'm calling it. We do our own. Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
we just have, like, a creators one. bro.
absolutely like a
Yeah, we
Hustlers
have
Hub.
those.
Yeah.
Bro,
That would
talking
be
to
dope.
existence. Hustlers Hub fucking pop-up.
Yes.
All hustlers in there. Bro,
done.
it's achievable. We
That
know
would be
people.
crazy.
Yeah, we
Ah, we've just said it now. Episode 6. Mark the date. 6th of May. Absolutely. It's
it,
done.
mate.
But yeah, no, we're clipping this. 100%
Yeah,
is going to happen.
100%.
But
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, bro. But I think just
Well,
for you
What
as
are
well.
your guys' goals as well, though.
Ooh.
Yeah. For this year.
Go for all seasons. Go.
For me, like,
Yeah.
trying to drop, because all seasons, I try and drop, like, a collection for every season.
That's dope. Yeah.
So it's like, and then just trying to get it in that timeline, which is, like, really
Oh,
hard.
it's
100%.
tricky.
Yeah.
Need to be
But that's
prepped.
probably mine, like, trying to just drop every
Absolutely.
season. which would be dope.
For me, we just like no one knows this yet, but it'll probably be out. So I spoke at my first school of the year on Tuesday. I want to speak it. I want to have 10 by the end of the year. I
Yeah,
want to have
wow.
10 by the end of the year, and like keep getting better at what we do.
That shit's so sick. Like you're like just doing that out of your own time, right?
Yeah, bro. So like we got prizes, like it's out of my pocket time, just free.
Wow.
So I do it pro bono. We don't charge.
Yeah.
So we just go to schools and just provide a service. Because then afterwards, bro, like we just did this last school, Donburn Primary, about 150 kids. bro, kids are coming up to you like asking for signatures and shit, and just like
That's sick.
it's
That's
just like I
crazy.
needed to hear that, and like just that alone, bro, is worth more than
Yeah,
like
exactly.
money could buy.
Yeah.
Like that
yeah,
impact,
man.
like
It's
that's
just exactly
crazy.
right. It's the impact. So
Yeah.
that would definitely be it for me,
Yeah,
bro.
that's so dope.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you more about that later. Actually, like what
Sure.
what you want to do with that? That's so interesting.
100%,
Yeah, because
bro.
anything community based is
Really nice.
That's the goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
You know?
That's what we're
absolutely.
trying to create on here, bro.
Exactly.
That's
That's-
community of hustles.
And this
Yeah,
is
it's
why,
true.
like, I saw Simo A, and I'm like, bro, on the potty, because
Yeah.
like I feel like we're catching you in a great time because you're already succeeding, but I can see the upward trend. I can see the upward trend. So before Mans is doing like 24 hours of songs straight or some shit, I thought, hey, we got to get him on. It'd be good to talk about the drop and just like talk about young things. And like honestly, like we don't give a fuck about views, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's not why we do this. Like I want us to be able to like 10 years at a table as well,
Yeah,
look back in the app.
yeah,
And
for
be like,
sure.
look at where we're at, look at what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I want it to be.
Yeah,
And if the
that'd be good
views
fun.
come, the views come. Same way if the
Exactly,
money
yeah.
comes, the money comes.
Yeah, it's like we
it.
were saying before. Like, you know, at the end of the day, the people that watch it, I feel like it's gonna affect them. So it
100%.
doesn't matter how many people watch it, really.
Exactly.
Same
Exactly
thing
right.
with your talks at schools, you know.
Exactly right. Like I know kids are there, but some are in one year out the other. But you have others in there. Eyes are
Like
glued,
eyes in, yeah.
and that's what it is, bro. But that's all we have time for today. But thank you everyone who's liked it, post, subscribed
Shared.
to any of us, to shared. You know,
Of course,
all three
yeah.
of us, young three males. You know, doing our thing. Definitely gonna have a female on soon. 100%. That's
Yeah.
in the works. But with
Yeah.
our schedules, bro, it's fuck day. It's
Also,
fuck day.
just before we end, cheers
Absolutely.
for inviting me on.
Thank
It's
you,
good to
thank you
catch
very
up.
Most
and
def.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. and
Absolutely.
We'll have to do another one in a couple of years.
Absolutely. That's the
Easy,
thing,
it's
man.
great.
Absolutely. But
Before we
cheers,
head
Simmer.
off, where can people find you?
Absolutely. Talk to them.
Just Milkbar on Instagram. Don't
it.
bother me anywhere else in public. Yeah.
Shades on the shit.
Too
But nah,
easy.
cheers, Simmer, bro. Thanks for coming on, eh?
Thanks.